Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your September 2018 general readings. Thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers, and thank you for those of you who continue to follow my channel and like and share and subscribe. And always a big thank you to all of my clients out there, both regular and new, for keeping me so continuously busy with personal one-on-one readings. And as most of you who follow me know, any of you who are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, live or recorded, you can get more information and contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on the little About button, or you can click on the description bar of any of the videos that I post too. You can email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours of your initial contact. And scheduling can be is pretty timely too, anywhere from a few days depending on schedules and cancellations, upwards of a couple of weeks, but almost always within a 2-week period of time or so we can set up a reading for you. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life. And you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo for quicker answers to the quicker, easier questions. So I apologize for the fluctuating light. I'm still in Poland here for another month before I head back to California, and the season I think is starting to change. We've got a big rainstorm moving in today, so the light keeps going up and down. So moving right along, this reading is for the Earth sign of Taurus, our bulls, for the month of September 2018. Remember that general readings always resonate a little differently for everybody because there's so many of you watching. So for additional insight and clarification, if you know your rising and your moon sign, I suggest watching those videos as well because it can also just add to the picture and give some additional help and clarity. All right, let's move right into this. What does September 2018 have in store for the Earth sign of Taurus? Okay, Taurus, we begin with you, with the King of Pentacles, followed by the Two of Swords. We have the Moon, followed by the Chariot. We have the Nine of Wands, followed by the Three of Pentacles. And we have the Six of Wands, followed by the Three of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy, focus, and guidance is the World. A lot of the signs have a lot of major arcana cards. Let's see, you have 1, 2, 3. You have 3 in your reading, Taurus. And your elemental energy, we have, let's see, we have 2 swords, 1 pentacles, 1 wand, and 1 cup. The rest is major arcana cards. We actually have 2 pentacles, but one of them I believe is representative of you yourself. So this can resonate in just about any area of your life. Some of you it might be relationships, some of you it might be job, work, career, some other kind of project. It looks like something is coming to or has come to a completion in your life because your overall energy, your crowning card from the bottom of the deck is the World. So the World is the last major arcana card in the tarot. We start at the Fool. He has a 0 at the top of his card, and then all the cards after that are about the Fool's journey through life. Our journey through life and how we learn and grow and evolve until we get to the very end at the World. We've reached the top of the World. So it's a card of completion and it's a card of achievement too. And even if what has come to an end maybe it's something that you've been working for and hoping to achieve and you're finally there, you've reached it, or sometimes endings are not of our own choosing, but even then the World card would represent you have to kind of take a look at the achievements you've made, everything that you've learned from where you started to where you are now, even if the completion is not necessarily something that you planned or wanted. So it does look like something has come to a completion. But it looks like you may be feeling stuck on how to move through something or move through the ending of something, or if something has already ended, what to do here on out. And for some of you, this ending may not have this something coming to an end may not have happened in exactly the way that you wanted it to, or perhaps where you think that you're going to go now, or you may be stuck in knowing how to push through something as well, because we end August, begin September with the King of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. The King of Pentacles, I feel, is just manifesting as you. This is an Earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And it's showing as somebody who's kind of evolved through the energy of the page and the knight, because kings and queens represent individuals who have reached the mastery and balance and understanding and control of the character traits inherent to them. Pentacles is earth energy, so it often manifests in practical things in our life, in practical areas of our life, like money, finance, property, real estate. The King of Pentacles would represent somebody who has worked very hard to build up a good, solid, stable foundation for himself. He's probably quite generous, likes good things, likes good surroundings. For some of you, this could represent another earth sign person who might be significant to you during the month of September. On an energetic level, the King of Pentacles represents working hard and steadily to put something away for a rainy day, you know, building up a good, particularly financial and material, you know, security network for yourself as well. But I think for a lot of you, this is manifesting as just you because you are an earth sign, Taurus. Now, it's clarified and accompanied by the Two of Swords, which is a card that represents kind of feeling stuck. The blindfold can represent not knowing what to do or not knowing which way to go. Although the full moon, you can see the faint outline of the full moon. Often when you see the moon, and you have a couple of cards, 3 cards actually that have the moon in them. Often when you see the moon on one of the tarot cards, it points to spirituality, deep spirituality, or knowing, or a sense of knowing and intuition deep down inside of us, even if we're not conscious or not willing to look at something directly, which is also what the Two of Swords can signify. Twos represent crossroads, duality, choices, and the blindfold can represent perhaps not knowing what to do or what choice to make or which way to go. But the Two of Swords often can represent that there's something in front of you which needs to be looked at directly, which needs to be dealt with, or a choice needs to be made. But the blindfold can represent a reluctance or a resistance to looking at something head on or dealing with something head on, in spite of the fact that you may feel the knowledge of it or the compulsion or maybe what you should be doing or looking at or thinking about, you know, like gut instinct or intuition, as the moon can represent. So it looks like you, a lot of you maybe are ending August, beginning September. You know, there's a sense of completion. Something has ended or something is coming to an end or drawing to a close. And you're feeling quite stuck in, perhaps some of you, it might be not knowing, being afraid to maybe take a look at what lies ahead because you don't know what lies ahead or what you want to do. Some of you, there may be something coming to an end and you don't actually want to acknowledge it coming to an end. And what that it is going to vary. I mean, it's a general reading, so they're always going to resonate a little differently, but you don't have a huge preponderance or overbalancing of elemental energy in any one area. I mean, you have a couple of swords, a couple of pentacles, including yourself. You have a cup and a wand here. So some of you, again, this might be a relationship issue, relationships of all different kinds. It could be job, work, or career, or spirituality path, or even an artistic or creative endeavor. Something coming to an end and not knowing how to deal with that end, if even to embrace it at all. But I feel like underneath that, there may be something about it that you're not wanting to look at quite yet. And next to that, we have the moon and the Chariot. So the moon also speaks of sometimes the deep spiritual, almost primitive, primordial kind of spirituality feelings underneath us. It can represent too, again, things maybe not necessarily being completely clear. You may not have all the answers, or you may not be seeing something completely clearly, and you may need to actually kind of touch on those stirrings you feel underneath, particularly if there's something that you're not addressing or looking at or willing to accept, particularly if it's about an ending. Because often that's what that deep sense of spirituality means, that stirring in the pit of our stomach. Everything looks different from the light of under the light of the moon than it does by the light of the sun. Under the light of the moon, there's a lot of shadowy corners and hidden recesses and nooks. So things may not be always as clear as you think they are. And again, I'm getting the feeling that there's a few, some of you out there for whom there is an ending coming, or there needs to be an ending, and you just don't want it to come. You're not willing to kind of accept it, embrace it, or look at it directly, or you're kind of avoiding it somehow. And the moon can also represent that as well. What clarifies the moon is the Chariot, which is kind of opposite energy. The Chariot is one of the most, if not the most powerful success card in the tarot. And it's success that comes from being very driven, very ambitious, very focused on your goals, determination, perseverance, a willingness to do whatever it takes to achieve success, whatever that success is, powerful forward movement. Sometimes the Chariot can call us to question our ambition if we're so driven and so ambitious that we will sacrifice anything and anyone to get what we want or to get to our end goal. So for some of you, it could be that. Maybe some of you, for those of you who are manifesting as the King of Pentacles, maybe you've been working at something for a long time or working on a career path for a long time. Some of you, it might be a partner as well. And it's time for you to end. It's time for you to retire or transition to something else. But you're so used to doing what you're doing, or so driven to constantly reach and strive for success and goals. Not a bad thing, but it looks like some of you, it's time to let something be done that is done or coming to a close, and there's just some difficulty in dealing with that. That's for some of you in the job, work, career aspect of your life, or some other project of some kind as well. Some of you, again, this might be relationship coming to an end, or a certain way of living or pattern of life that you have. And again, whatever the ending represents, one, I think that a lot of you may just be having difficulty kind of accepting it or looking at it or figuring out how to move on afterwards. If I am not doing this anymore, then what else is there? And kind of being afraid to look at it too directly because it's kind of scary or new, which is understandable. Now, next to that, we have the Nine of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. So the Nine of Wands is a card, I call it the 11th hour card, the card that represents that saying it's darkest before it's dawn. You can see this soldier, he's a soldier, he's dressed for battle. What do soldiers do? They fight battles, that's what they do. This soldier has been through a lot of battles already, and he's tired, he wants to be done. In the tarot, tens represent cycles ending, completion as well, and we already have this world card here. So if tens represent cycles ending or something coming to a completion phase where you can transition into something else, the Nine of Wands would represent being very close to the end, which this soldier wants to do. He wants to be done fighting his battles. He wants to go home and take off his armor, put up his feet, have a beer. This grouping of wands behind him represents one more, perhaps unexpected or last minute obstacle, hurdle, challenge, and he's withdrawn a bit, maybe feeling a bit discouraged, depressed, tired. You know, how do I get through this? Am I ever going to get through this? Something always happens, and should I give up? This is a card, the accompanying advice to the Nine of Wands is almost always to push through. You're very, very close to the completion of something, or something is completed. You're almost close to the end, and you need to be wrapping this thing up. But it's just around the corner, so you can't see it. So but the energy sometimes of the Nine of Wands is feeling maybe discouraged, like maybe you've something is coming to an end and you've run into a hurdle or challenge or blockage of some kind, or a delay, and you're feeling very discouraged and wondering if you should continue on with something. But you should, because you're almost there at the end. It's like the end is in sight, but maybe it's right around the corner so you can't see it. And you may have run into something. I'm feeling a variety of different kind of stories which are very different from each other. I feel like some of you, there's an ending coming, or there's an ending that's happened, or as you're in the process of, and it's a difficult ending for you. It's not one that you really want to embrace or grasp, and you're actually trying to do everything but kind of accept that that's happening or that it's coming. Some of you, something may be in the process of wrapping up, but it's not wrapping up in exactly the way that you wanted it to, or as quickly as you wanted it to, job, work, career, or relationship as well. For some of you, I feel like you may have had You may have been working with other people on something, whether it's job or your career path or another project of some kind, and or even just another person. I feel like some of you it's more than one person, and the teamwork didn't go very well, or you've run into a snag with the teamwork, or people aren't getting along or agreeing with each other on how something should be done. For some of you, because that Nine of Wands, that, being almost close to being done and then feeling discouraged and tired because something's come up. It's clarified by the Three of Pentacles, which is a card, it's the teamwork card. It's the card of artisanship, of compromise and negotiation, because the Three of Pentacles is about everybody working together to build one thing. Different people, different opinions, but everybody agrees that something has to be done. Like there's a big project, or there's a particular goal, maybe in a relationship or maybe at work. Something, everybody may have different opinions on how it needs to be done, but everybody agrees that there's something which needs to be accomplished. So the Three of Pentacles is about teamwork, about people working together in order to create something or achieve a certain goal or common cause. Now it's clarifying the Nine of Wands. So this can work both ways, Taurus. Some of you, it might be you've run into some snags in working within a group or within a person with another person to achieve something, and just when you thought things were wrapping up, something's come up, and maybe the negotiations have gone awry. For others of you, it's going to be on the other side, where you've run into, whatever this Nine of Wands represents. It could be a delay, an obstacle, a hurdle of some kind, particularly if something is coming to an end that you didn't foresee coming to an end, or difficulty in wrapping something up. And it could be that there are people actually helping you to kind of get through this. And I feel that quite strongly for some of you, because it's that Three of Pentacles is right next to the Three of Cups, which can also represent friendship and community as well. Those two are sitting side by side. So I feel like quite strongly for some of you, there are people that are helping you get through this last bit of what you need to get through, especially feeling kind of discouraged and worn out a bit. Persevere through whatever last bit of thing that you need to get through, whatever area of your life this is manifesting in or resonating in, Taurus. The details and specifics in a general reading are always going to vary, but the energy remains the same. The advice remains the same. Whatever area of your life this is pointing to, if you're feeling, particularly around the middle or the third week of September, if you're feeling discouraged, tired, worn out, I can't do this anymore, you're so close to being done with whatever it is or moving on to the next thing. And I feel like some of you, you really have people kind of helping you through this, and you need to allow them to help you through this as well. And that's echoed by the last two cards at or towards the end of September 2018. We have the Six of Swords and the Three of Cups. I like this combination because the Six of Swords is a card of peace, healing, and restoration. There's a strong element of healing here. If you could see the water behind her, which she's leaving or he's leaving, it would be choppy and wavy and turbulent and chaotic. But the water she's moving into are calm, peaceful, placid, and serene. It represents moving away from chaos, pain, or just a challenging, chaotic time into a time that's more balanced, more peaceful, and serene, and it's healing. You're leaving something behind you that maybe has been very challenging or painful, and you're healing. Now, healing has its up days and down days, but overall, you're getting better and better as time goes on. You're not quite to the other shore yet, non solid ground, but you're definitely moving towards it in a healing process. And it's clarified by the Three of Cups, which is a card, sometimes it's called the party card. It is a card that can represent going out, celebrating. You might be doing that. Maybe something has come to an end that has been distasteful or challenging or painful or chaotic. Maybe some of you have gone through a difficult divorce period, a divorce process, or the conclusion of something else, and it's just been difficult and challenging and maybe painful and ugly for some of you, and you're finally coming to the end of it. It could be a medical or health issue as well. You're having help doing that, and at the end there's a celebration. This speaks of getting out and having a good time. There's a strong social energy to this with people that you really feel connected with, like you're a very good friend network, sisterhood, brotherhood, kindred spirits, kinship, family. And it also represents close community ties too, and community. And I like that it clarifies the Six of Swords, because it represents that not only are you moving into a better place quite strongly at the end of the month, but that people are there to kind of help you with it and help you also kind of celebrate, even if this whole process was not one that you wanted and were kind of forced into. and it's been difficult, you have people there that care about you and that are helping you, and you need to let them do that, because there is a strong major ending. And I feel like even if the ending is wanted, there's been a lot of challenges around it. Let me pull just one more card. Yes, we have death, transformation, another card of major ending, another major arcana card. So yeah, definitely there's something that has recently ended or is in the process of coming to an end. And I feel like whether it's expected or wanted, there's difficulty in dealing with it. But again, people there, and definitely moving into a better place at the end of the month. That's not like the whole month is bad or gloom or doom or anything like that. I just feel like, endings, regardless of what they are, endings are always have an element of challenge and sadness in them. Beginnings always have an element of, oh my gosh, and a little bit of fear with them as well, usually. So that's just how it is. It's more of an inner contemplative month. The only cautionary advice, a couple of things that maybe feeling discouraged and overwhelmed. There's people that will help you push through. You're just about at the end of something. It's wrapping up. And if there's things that you're afraid to look at, or endings again can be difficult if we don't want them. We may not have the intestinal grace to embrace it exactly, but don't avoid it, because major arcana endings is represented by the world and death. They're meant to come to an end. So kind of move through that, and you are definitely not alone. So Taurus, that pretty much wraps up your September 2018 general readings. I hope that you found it helpful. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more information and contact details by clicking on the description bar of any of the videos I post, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button. Email me directly at maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. I do readings in love and romance, compatibility charting, reconciliation spreads, career, work, and finance, investment readings, gift readings. I do focused channeled messages from passed on loved ones, and I also do 6 and 12-month overviews that take a look at what's coming in all the main areas in your life over the next 6 and 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. So if you're interested, shoot me an email and we will go from there. For quicker answers to the quicker, easier questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link's also provided. So I will see you all again, Taurus, in a couple of weeks for the September 2018 mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.